Cool. All right, we can get started here. I'll share my screen and we can dive on in here. Once this loads here. Cool. All right. Well, let's kick things off here. First off, just want to say thank you to everybody attending or watching this recording afterwards. Super excited to go through some strategies that are working for us to fill some tasting room traffic today. So just let me go back here. This presentation is called How to Use Facebook and Instagram Advertising to Make Your Tasting Room Go Boom. It's a catchy title there. And we can see, you'll see I use a lot of AI generated images here of tasting rooms just because very 2024 themed. So first off, who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, my name is Steve Krakauer. I'm the founder of Harbor Marketing Agency. And a little background on me. I come from the e-commerce world. And so, I've helped scale multiple e-commerce brands from basically startup phase to over 7 and 8 figures in revenue. And the thing about the e-commerce world is it's all online. So it's all, heavy digital marketing. All the transactions happen online. And because of that, every brand in the e-commerce world needs to be really, really good with their digital marketing. They need to have websites that are fully optimized. They need to, have well thought out email marketing automations, and they need to have a really good advertising strategy and social content strategy. And they put a lot of effort into their photography and video. And, they really just cross the T's and dot the I's in the e-commerce space. And they have to do that because it's super competitive. All of their competitive brands are doing that. And if you don't do that, if you're not really, really good, then you're going to get left behind. And so that's the world that I come from. And we've had a lot of success there. Again, we've scaled a lot of brands from basically startup to over 7 and 8 figures in revenue. And kind of, how I got into marketing for distilleries is early last year in 2023, we started working with a distillery out of Maryland, kind of as like a side project at first, to be honest. We entered into an agreement with them and they were looking for help filling their tasting room. And we said, sure, we'll give it a shot. And, they had a solid online presence already, pretty decent website. They were doing a good job at posting on social media, but they just weren't seeing the traction that they really needed. And they weren't bringing enough people into the tasting room. And so we looked at everything and we were like, oh, yeah, makes sense. You're not running any advertising. So nobody really knows about you. So we came in and implemented some of our advertising strategies that we're about to go through today. And long story short, it was super successful for them. Their tour bookings basically maxed out. They had to hire more people, open up more slots. Their events are consistently filled. Revenue is up. We've added multiple 6 figures to their top line, and their bottom line has significantly improved as well. And so it's been really successful, and we're starting to implement these strategies for a lot of other distilleries, and we're seeing some success there too as well. So that's what I'm going to go over today. I'm not a distillery expert by any means. Everyone on this call, you're the distillery experts. What I know how to do is, build out an online marketing strategy and drive traffic to your tasting room and turn that traffic into people actually, walking into your tasting room and, buying cocktails, buying bottles, buying merch. So here we go. First off, I want to cover, what are some of the common pitfalls with distillery marketing and specifically tasting room marketing? First here is a poor tasting room experience. I'll be the first to say that great marketing will not make up for a bad product or an uninviting atmosphere or poorly trained staff. So you have to have something actually good to sell, which I'm sure is no secret to everyone. Next is no tasting room upsell process. So from a marketing standpoint, what we can do is we can get people interested. We can make people brand aware. We can drive them into your tasting room. But once they're in the tasting room, that's on you to make sure that you have your staff trained up to maybe make product recommendations, or maybe you have some kind of, bundle deal where, they can buy multiple bottles at once and increase the receipt value. So make sure that there's a back-end sales process in place once people are in the door to maximize the value of every single customer that walks in. Third is no focus on building your list. So this is a big one, and this is what we try to help our clients with. And when I say build your list, what I mean is build your email list and build your SMS list, your text list. The reason that that's important is because if you are solely relying on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, or even if you're running like newspaper ads or magazine ads or radio ads, whatever you're doing, you don't own that data. Facebook owns it, Instagram owns it, the radio company owns it. You're basically just paying them to use their platform to get your message in front of their audience. And the problem with that is if that platform ever goes down or Facebook changes its algorithm or something happens, you no longer have a way to get in front of people. So what we try to help people do is when we use those platforms like Facebook and Instagram to drive traffic to your website and into your tasting room, we want to collect their email, phone number, and any other contact info that we can so that we can build your list so that if one of those platforms goes down, you now have an email list and you now have a text list that costs you nothing to market to them again. So that's really important. Fourth here is relying entirely on boosting posts. I know for a fact that most of the people watching this webinar are relying on boosting posts to promote their business on Facebook and Instagram, and you think you're running ads, and I'm here to tell you that you are not running ads. Boosting posts is basically just a cash grab from Facebook and Instagram to tell you that you're getting results and you're throwing money into a black hole, and it usually doesn't work. So what you want to do instead is run ads specifically from Facebook Ads Manager, or Meta Ads Manager, as it's now called. The reason that you want to do that is because you're going to have more targeting capabilities and more creative flexibility and better analytics behind every single ad that you run. So boosting posts is like kind of like the beginner's way for Facebook to just grab your money. You won't see very good results from that. You have to actually run your ads from Ads Manager. Fifth here is sporadic and inconsistent marketing. This is another thing, and I know this because I've talked to dozens, if not hundreds, of distillery owners over the last several months. And every single conversation I ask them, what kinds of marketing are you doing? And the answer almost, nearly every time is, yeah, I've tried some radio ads, or I've tried something in a magazine, or I did a Google ad one time, or I boosted a post. And the problem with being so inconsistent and sporadic with your marketing strategy is that sporadic, inconsistent marketing yields sporadic, inconsistent results. So when you're just throwing up a newspaper ad and seeing what happens, you're only giving people one touch point. And that's the first introductory touch point. And then they don't hear from you again. And that's not how people actually become a customer. People become a customer by having multiple touch points. There's data on this. There's studies that actually show that people need 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 touch points to actually become a customer. So that newspaper ad that you're throwing up and maybe someone's seeing it one time, glancing through it, and then going to the sports section, that's not really doing anything. There needs to be a system to follow up with them and give them those additional touch points. So that's what we try to help people do. And then finally, last common pitfall is just lacking decent photo and video assets for promotion. This is an area that you don't want to skimp on. Have a photographer come to your tasting room, take good photos, put them on your website, put them on your social content, put them in your ads. It's going to make everything perform much better. So highly recommend getting this done and doing it right. So with that said, let's dive into the types of meta advertising strategies that we use. Now, again, I'm not a distillery expert by any means. All I know how to do is just, market things and kind of reverse engineer the customer journey and drive traffic to a tasting room. So when we started working with, our distillery out of Maryland, the first question that we asked ourselves was, how does someone become a distillery customer? And we figured that if we could reverse engineer that process, then we could just simply leverage the technology that Meta already gives us to make it easy for them to give our clients money. So basically what we came up with here was there's 3 phases that people go through to become a distillery customer. First, they become brand aware, meaning that they have to find out about you somehow. And that's either going to be through content, advertising, or word of mouth. they have to have that first touch point and become brand aware. Once they're brand aware, they need to become offer aware. And what I mean by offer aware is they have to learn about something that's going on in your tasting room that they're interested in that will actually get them to the next phase of becoming a customer. So for person A, that might be booking a tour. For person B, that might be going to a trivia night. For person C, they might be interested in doing a brunch. For person D, they might be interested in going to live music. So there's all these different offers at your distillery that you can use to make the people that are brand aware, offer aware, and hopefully transition them to the next phase of actually becoming a customer and walking in for the first time. And so the way that we look at this is how do we just make it really, really easy for people rather than, trying to force, person A that's interested in a tour to go to a trivia night, or rather than forcing the trivia night person to, go to a live music event, let's just have a bunch of different offers out there, or, let people know the different happenings at your distillery and give them the customer experience that makes the most sense for them to go down based on what they're interested in. So there's three main ways that we do that. It's booking funnels, Facebook Messenger and SMS campaigns, and event response ads. And these are all usable within the Meta advertising platform. Booking funnels, basically, and I'm going to dive into all of this. Booking funnels were running an ad promoting a tour or a class or some kind of event that they purchase a ticket for online. And we're just driving that traffic right to your website with a booking software installed, and they're checking out online and paying you ahead of time. Facebook Messenger and SMS campaigns, all we're doing there, let's say that someone wants to go to a brunch, they're clicking an ad. Your Facebook page is going to send them an automated message that basically says, "Hey, thanks for your interest in going to the brunch. Here's an offer for like a free drink when you go to the brunch. I just need your name, phone number, and email, and I'll send you the offer." Event response ads, maybe you have live music happening on Friday night. We just want to put an ad in front of people that says, "Hey, we have this live music happening Friday night, RSVP," and then they RSVP, they click one button, and they're going to get notified about it on Facebook over and over to remind them to attend the event. So basically, again, we're just making it easy for people to give you money. We're using the tech on the platforms that's already in place and just putting it in front of the right person at the right time. So I'm going to dive into each of these, and from a high level, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to start with the booking funnel because this is the strategy that has generated the most results and has been the most impactful for Lost Ark Distillery, which is our client out of Maryland that has seen a lot of success here. And again, basically what we're doing with the booking funnel is very simple. We're showing them a top of funnel ad, meaning they're at the top of the marketing funnel. They've never heard of us before. These are people that, have no idea Lost Ark Distillery exists. And we're just showing them an ad and saying, "Hey, we offer tours. If you're interested, click this button to learn more." So they see that ad, they click on it, and then they visit the booking page on your website. Once they're on the booking page, they book a tour or a class or an event, depending on what we're promoting. And then they take that tour or class or event, and then they're upsold on bottles and cocktails and merchandise on their visit. So that part is really important. I'll give you an example of this. Lost Ark Distillery, it's $25 to book a tour. Sometimes maybe it costs us $20 to get someone in the door. So that $5 gross profit is not really worth it for them. However, once someone comes in for a tour, they tend to stay and have some cocktails, and then they usually walk out with some bottles. And on average, they're spending about $160 by the time they walk out the door. So that's worth it. And so that's the general concept of this funnel. What you need to execute this is, one, you need something to sell. Two, you need a website to drive traffic. You need a booking software on said website, a pixel to track everything. And a pixel is just a little piece of code that you put on your website and reports on performance. And then you need ads to spread the word. So let's start with what your booking event will be. Now, again, we used tours for Lost Ark Distillery. We're marketing some classes for another distillery client that we're working with. We're doing this for a winery as well. We are promoting a wine blending class. So it can be anything. Don't feel like you have to do tours. These are some examples. Maybe you sell tickets to tours, maybe it's mixology classes, maybe it's a ticket to a live music event, maybe it's a happy hour special, or maybe you partner with a local restaurant and, sell reservations to that, or whatever you want, whatever you think people are going to be interested in. Just decide what your booking event will be, and then that takes you to the next step of building out the landing page and building the event in your booking software. So next step here is your website. Once you know what your event is, you have to have a landing page to send people to. This is the exact landing page that we send people to for Lost Ark Distillery. Very straightforward. Recommendations for what to include here. First of all is keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate this. I think it can be overwhelming when you think to yourself like, oh, I need to build this crazy landing page and it has to convert really well. Simple is better here. So a couple key recommendations. One is one page per booking event. So what you will notice about this landing page here is it is only about the tour. People are clicking on a tour ad and then they're going to a tour landing page. What you don't see here is tours and mixology classes and brunches and live music and walk-in. That's too much. And when you have too much happening in your marketing messaging, when you're promoting like 50 different things at once, you lose people. Most people in 2024 have the attention span of a goldfish. So, if you're running ads and your ad is about a tour, you need to send them to a landing page that is only about a tour. Simplicity always outperforms complexity when it comes to marketing. So that's the key thing. One page per booking event. And then if you do want to market multiple booking events, that's totally fine. But have a tour ad going to a tour page and a mixology class ad going to a mixology class page. So just keep them separate. Describe the experience. So they have a couple bullet points on what's included with the tour. Very simple, with a nice bright call to action button right underneath that. High quality imagery. Again, very important here. Same way that you wouldn't have someone come into your tasting room with garbage on the floor. When you're using a blurry image or a low quality image on your website or in your ads, kind of says something about your distillery and it says something about the standards that you hold yourself to. So it's worth it to have a nice photographer come in and take some good pictures so that you can use them on your website and your landing pages, on your social media and in your ads. They are not doing this, but I put include reviews on your landing page. And actually, we're going to have to go back and implement this because I think it'll help. Social proof is really, really important. You want to show people that other people who are similar to them have had a good experience, booking a tour or taking a mixology class or whatever the event is that you're promoting. So reviews are critical. And lastly, make sure it's mobile optimized. Every site is different, but for the most part, the majority of your traffic is going to come from mobile nowadays, especially if that traffic is coming from Facebook and Instagram ads. So make sure that this page is mobile optimized. Now let's dive into the next step, the booking software. So keep this simple too. I don't have a ton of recommendations on your booking software other than you need one in place, and I would use whatever makes sense for your business. A lot of it depends on your point of sale system and if it can integrate into that. We've tried a couple at this point. Our favorite so far is AnyRoad. That seems to be the one that is easiest to integrate the Facebook or the Meta Pixel with, and it has been the least challenging to get set up. Lost Ark uses Zola. They've been okay. So, find one that makes sense for your business. And, just make sure that you have this set up because obviously you need this in place for people to actually book the event. So the Meta Pixel, I had to include this slide just because it is a critical piece. This gets a little bit technical. And so there are ways that you can get this set up without you having to do it. As a short summary of what is the Meta Pixel, why do you need it, what does it do? Basically, it's a snippet of code that you can get from your Facebook ad account, from your Meta ad account. And it's a snippet of code. You just copy it and you paste it into the header section of your website. When you paste it into the header section of your website, it acts as a data bridge between your website and your ad account. So when you're running ads, if you did not have the Metapixel installed, someone would click on your ad and go to your website, and then your ad account would no longer be able to track the data from, or the visitor activity from your website. So, if people are going through and checking out and purchasing without the Pixel, your ad account can't track that. With the Pixel installed, your website is now able to send data back to your ad account and say, hey, this person purchased a tour, or this person purchased a mixology class, and then your ad account can track that as a sale. So the Metapixel is just important for tracking visitor behavior. It allows you to set up retargeting, which is really important, which we're going to talk about later. And it allows you to track and measure performance. So 2 things that you need to know from this slide. You have to have it installed in the header of your site, and you have to have it integrated into your booking software. So AnyRoad or whatever software you end up using, I would reach out to your contact at that software and ask if they can help you install the Metapixel, and most of the time they can. And it should fire a purchase event when someone books something. So let's dive into booking ads best practices. The first one that I'm going to say here, and I know I went over this in the common pitfalls area, but do not, please, if you take anything away from this, do not boost your post. You're wasting money. You're throwing money into a black hole when you do that. Always run your ads through Meta Ads Manager. And I included the link in there. So if you want to screenshot this, go ahead. Do not boost a post, run it through Meta Ads Manager. Again, you're going to be able to set the right campaign settings. You're going to be able to have better targeting flexibility. You're going to have more creative flexibility. You're going to get better analytics, and it's just going to be much easier to actually track and measure your results. From a campaign setting standpoint, if you want to do this the right way, use a sales objective campaign optimized for purchases. Now, a big mistake that we see a lot of people make here is they do everything else that we talked about right. They have something great to sell. They have a good tasting room experience. They have a good event. They've set up the landing page. They've set up the booking software. They've even gotten the Pixel installed. And then they get to the ad account and they'll mess up the campaign settings. So maybe a big common mistake that we see is they'll use a traffic campaign optimized for link clicks. And the reason that they do that is, as you're choosing a campaign objective on Meta, it'll kind of explain what each campaign objective will do for you. And the traffic objective, what Meta tells you is, this is the type of campaign that will drive the most traffic to your website. So people see that and they think to themselves, oh yeah, that sounds great. I would love a lot of traffic to my website. Awesome. And then they launch these ads and they have really high click-through rates. People are clicking on them and it seems like the ads are performing really, really well. And then they get to the landing page and it's crickets and nobody purchases. And the reason for that is Facebook, or I keep calling Facebook, Meta is really good at doing exactly what you tell it to do. So when you use a traffic objective campaign, you are saying to Meta, hey, I want you to go out and deliver my ads to people that are most likely to click on them. The thing about that is just because they're likely to click, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually likely to purchase. So you end up paying Meta a bunch of money to drive all of this low quality traffic to your site that was never going to convert in the first place. And from Meta's standpoint, they're like, cool, we did our job. We got a bunch of clicks for you. That's what you told us to do. So don't use a traffic objective campaign. You want to use a sales objective campaign and then optimize it for purchases. So you can select a conversion event and you want to choose purchases. Very important. Your campaign basically will not work if you don't do this. From a targeting standpoint, we generally target within 20 miles of your location. This can vary distillery to distillery. 20 miles is a good range if you have a decent population density around your location. However, if you're more rural, then you can expand this. Maybe you have a major city that's a bit further out. In that case, just drop a targeting pin over that city, and you might want to promote this more as like, hey, take a day trip to our distillery and take a tour and hang out. So, none of this, well, the campaign settings are set in stone, but the targeting and ad creative are not set in stone. These are just recommendations, but, use the context of your specific situation. Finally, ad creative. Use high quality, engaging imagery, and most importantly, keep your ads focused and clear. So one thing that you will notice about all of these ads here is that they are just promoting a tour or they are just promoting a class. They're not promoting, they're not saying, hey, come in for a tour and also come in for a class if you prefer that. And, also come in for live music because we do that on Fridays. And then we also do brunch on Sundays. And you can also walk in anytime you want. That's just way too much for people to absorb. And they're going to read like 4 words into it and then they're going to keep scrolling. So in order to keep people actually hooked on your ad, you need to direct their focus towards one main thing that you're looking to sell. And again, from the previous slide, once they click on this tour ad, they're going to a tour landing page. And it's very simple and straightforward and to the point. And again, we're dealing with people that, have the attention span of a goldfish. So we need to tell them exactly what we want them to do. So measuring success here. So the main KPI that you're going to use to measure the success of your booking funnel is cost per booking. What that basically means is how much does it cost you to acquire a customer who books a tour or a class or an event? So for example, if you spent $200 on ads in a week and you got 20 tour bookings, that's a $10 cost per booking. Now, depending on the type of event that you're promoting, that may be good or bad. If you're promoting a tour, let's say it's a $25 tour and it's $10 to, to acquire a customer for that tour. If they're only doing the tour, then that's not that profitable. If you know that on average, people tend to hang out after the tour and they have some cocktails and they walk away with some bottles and the average receipt by the time they walk out the door ends up being like over $100, then that is worth it. So there's no set in stone cost per booking that is good or bad. It depends on what you're selling and it depends on your price point and it depends on the economics of your business. I'll give you another example. We have a winery that we're working with right now who is having a lot of success with this system, and they're selling wine classes. And it costs us, I believe, like $30 to $40 to get them a booking, but they're selling a wine class where on average each person spends $160 just to book the class. So it's like a wine blending and pizza class. So that's very profitable for them, and that works really, really well. So it depends on what you're selling and it depends on your business. So what you need to take away from this slide is this is the metric that you're tracking, but there's context here that matters. Cool. So that's the booking funnel. Again, that's been super successful for us. That's something I would recommend everybody get in place if you do have something to book. The last thing I would say on the booking funnel is don't force it. So if you have a really, really small distillery, I probably wouldn't offer tours if it doesn't make sense for your location. Maybe find something else to use the booking funnel for. So, be strategic about what you're promoting. But if you can find something to sell tickets to, that strategy works really well. This next strategy, Facebook Messenger and SMS, is something I'm really excited about. This is something that we're rolling out right now. So the way that this works is basically we come up with an offer, and that could be an offer, let's say we're just trying to get general walk-ins to the distillery, something that is historically very, very difficult to track. We put out an ad and then someone is supposed to see that ad and then somehow they're going to walk into the distillery because they saw that ad. Very difficult to track because we're taking something that happens online and then the sale happens in person. So the way that we're rolling this out in order to actually measure and track this is we're using a Facebook Messenger and SMS strategy. And so it starts with an offer. Let's just say that, that offer is a free shot glass. So free shot glass on your first visit, we're going to put that in an ad and say, hey, if you want a free shot glass on your first visit, click this ad and we will send you a message with instructions on how to redeem that offer. So they click that ad, and then we set up a chat bot where your Facebook page is messaging them and saying, hey there, to continue and get your free shot glass offer, you must be 21 years old. Please confirm your age below. Similar to how you do on your website. We just want to confirm that, they're actually 21. So they say, yes, I'm 21, or no, I'm not. And we put a little baby emoji there. You can kind of have fun with this. If they hit, yes, I'm 21, we say, great. We just need to ask you a few quick questions and we'll send you your offer. Sound good? And they say, let's do it. And these are buttons that they're clicking here. So we say, first off, is it okay if we notify you when this offer is about to expire? And they say, sure, no problem. Then we say, great. Next question. I want to make sure this offer gets delivered to you. So I'll send it here and I will text it to you. What's the best phone number for you? And then we send them a little disclaimer that, they're going to opt into our SMS list. So they can type in their phone number and this chatbot will be able to detect if it's a real phone number based on how they format it. So then they type in their phone number and it automatically sends a next response that says, great, last question, what's the best email for you? And then we send a little disclaimer that they're opting into our email list. And they send that. And then we say, Yahoo. Once you get to Lost Ark Distillery, click redeem offer below to redeem your free shot glass. So they click redeem offer. And then we send another little kind of disclaimer. Are you sure you want to redeem this now? You must be at Lost Ark Distillery to redeem this offer, and it can only be redeemed once. The reason we do this is because they have to redeem it in person, and they have to redeem it while they're in Lost Ark Distillery. And if they've already redeemed the offer, then we don't want to give it to them again. So if they're not at Lost Ark Distillery, we just hit no, go back, and then they go back to this one. And then once they get there, they can, actually redeem it. Once they hit yes, redeem now, all of the information that they just gave us, which is going to be their name, their phone number, and their email, is going to be sent to a Google Sheet. And that's how we track offer redemptions from this strategy. So they hit redeem and all their info is sent to a Google Sheet. And then they receive a message that says, show this image to your bartender to receive the free shot glass. This offer can only be redeemed once per customer. And then they show them, we show them an image. They show that to the bartender and the bartender confirms it and says, cool, yeah, that's the image that we're looking for. Here's a free shot glass. So again, the way that we're tracking this is once they hit this final redeem now button, we've integrated this with Google Sheets and it automatically adds a row into a Google Sheet where we're able to track exactly how many offer redemptions we got from this ad strategy. And so that's how we measure results from this, because they have to be in the distillery to redeem this. And we know that if they're redeeming this, that they came from an ad. So in order to implement this, you will need something to sell, obviously, an enticing offer or promotion. You need to communicate the offer to your staff and, tell them that, hey, we're running this. If you see this image, give them a free shot glass. And it doesn't have to be a free shot glass. It can be anything. You will need a ManyChat account, which is the software that we use to build out that automation that you just saw, and ads to spread the word. Cool. So first step, decide on your offer and then communicate the offer to your staff. One thing I will say here is state laws, as you know, vary on whether or not you're allowed to discount alcohol. So make sure that you are abiding by state regulations here. You don't have to do something free, but free things tend to get people to take action. So you could do like free drink, a free food item. You could do a free merch item, like a buy one, get one. We're about to start testing out a free rum flight at Lost Ark Distillery. So we're excited about that. So you can get creative here. Anything that you're willing to use as an offer that you think people might be interested in, you can test that out. Once you have your offer, I want to go through some messenger ad best practices here. So I'm going to sound like a broken record, but run your ads through Meta Ads Manager. Do not boost a post. You will need a ManyChat account. It's about $14 a month. It's not very expensive and well worth it if you're going to run this strategy. From a campaign setting standpoint, in Meta Ads Manager, you want to use a sales objective campaign optimized for messages. Targeting stays the same, do within 20 miles of your location or whatever makes sense for your specific distillery. And ad creative, high quality, engaging imagery. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but clear and focused. So if if the offer is a free rum flight, then that's the only thing that you should be promoting in the ad. And that's what that ad is about. It has a singular focus, and then they're taken to a messaging flow that talks about the free rum flight. So that's a common theme across any advertising that you do, even off of online. Every ad should be clear and focused and, focused on one thing. So measuring success here, the way that you're going to track and measure this, again, is how many rows do you have in the Google Sheet of people that redeemed your offer? And you're going to be tracking cost per promotion redemption. So if we had, if we spent $200 on ads and we had 20 people in our Google Sheet, 20 rows, then that's a $10 cost per promotion redemption. And if those people are staying and hanging out and spending more money, then that's a big win. Cool. So last strategy here is going to be event response ads. So event response ads, are very, very simple. You may have even run event response ads before. We found that a lot of people have tested these out. And I think the reason that they've tested this out is because I believe you can run event response ads just from boosting a post. However, I still don't recommend it because you have more creative and targeting flexibility and analytics with inside Ads Manager. But basically what an event response ad is you just run an ad on Facebook to an event that you've created on your Facebook page. And people just mark that they're interested or they RSVP to the event, and then Facebook will notify them that the event is coming up and that they should plan accordingly. So these are very, very simple to set up. You don't even need a website to do this. You just need an event to sell, and then you need to create the ads to spread the word. Easy to set up, but difficult to track results from. However, we still use it because just kind of anecdotally, we found that these are effective. And when we run these, more people tend to show up to the events. So we decided to include this in this presentation. Now, as far as event ads best practices, again, sounding like a broken record, run it through Meta Ads Manager. Please, please, please do not boost a post. Campaign settings here are going to be engagement objective campaign optimized for event responses. Targeting stays the same, 20 miles or whatever makes sense for you. And ad creative, just use high quality engaging imagery. I like to include the offer and event information right on the image. And ads should be focused and clear. So we're not promoting 57 different events at once. We're promoting one event on one day at one time with nothing else included, no extracurriculars here. It's just that one event that we're promoting. So again, measuring success here, cost per event response is a good indicator. So if a lot of people are RSVPing to your event, then that's a good sign that people are interested and more people are going to show up. Ultimately, it's going to be event revenue. So very easy to set up, but difficult to measure ROI from because, again, they're RSVPing online and then they have to actually walk in and show up to the event. However, we do find that this is successful. I'll give you an example of this. We have a client that we're working with out of Orlando, Florida. And in January, they were not running any ads. They had not started working with us yet. And they had like a monthly event that they were doing and they launched it and basically nobody showed up. It was totally dead. And the event flopped in January. And then we started working with them between January and February and started promoting their February event. And the night of the event, it like torrentially downpoured. It was like just horrible weather, like just, not the best night at all to show up to a distillery event. But because we had been running these event response ads the entire prior month, it was actually a pretty successful event. And, a lot of people still showed up and had a good time. So it was pretty easy to draw a line saying like, okay, well, the only difference this month was that, we were actually advertising this and running event response ads, and those seem to actually bring in sales. So these do work. They're just difficult to, track down to the penny. Cool. So everything that we've went over so far has been what we call a top of funnel strategy, meaning that, if we're thinking of a marketing funnel here, what we're doing with all of those strategies, the booking funnel, the messaging, the event response ads, is we're targeting people who don't know you exist yet, and we're putting your ad in front of them for the first time and giving them that first touch point, which works. You will get customers from that, and you will get bookings, and you'll get more people coming to your events, and you'll get messages and all those good things. However, like we talked about before, most people need multiple touch points in order to make a purchase decision. So most people need to become a little bit more familiar with you, and they need to learn a little bit more about They need to maybe become more offer aware, like we talked about. They need to learn about the different things that you have going on at your distillery, and then maybe they'll decide to become a customer. So the way that we facilitate and systematize that process is through retargeting. So we retarget everybody who visits your website or engages with you on social media. So even if, someone doesn't convert from a top of funnel ad, that's okay, because now they're in our retargeting funnel and we have the opportunity to promote other things going on at the distillery for them. The reason that this is important is because in top of funnel, you're kind of targeting people and you're casting a wide net. And not everybody who sees that ad for a tour is going to be interested in taking a tour. Or not everybody that sees that ad for trivia night is going to be interested in trivia night. I know me personally, I do not have a lot of random information jumbled up in my head. So I'm not really into trivia nights, but I would love to take a mixology class, or I would love to go to a brunch. So that's the idea of retargeting, where, we might target someone in top of funnel with a trivia night ad, and they're not really interested in trivia, but they might click on it and check it out, or they might like the ad, or they might comment on it. Or, we might target someone who, maybe loves trivia, but we hit them with a tour ad in top of funnel. Maybe they're not interested in tours, but they're interested in trivia, but they still might click on that tour ad and visit your website. And as long as they engage with you in some way, shape, or form online, meaning as long as they maybe visit your website, or they like a post or comment on it or share something or follow you on Instagram, they give you some kind of digital touch point, they are now going to fall into your retargeting funnel. So over the next 30, 60, 90 days, once, they've had that initial online touch point, they're going to see everything else happening at your distillery. We're going to hit them with more ads. And that person who came in from a trivia night ad, who is actually interested in tours, they're not going to, go to that trivia night that they saw from top of funnel, but now they're in a retargeting and they're going to see a lot of tour ads, or they're going to see a lot of, brunch ads, or they're going to see a lot of trivia night ads again, or live music ads. They're going to see everything happening at your distillery. And one of those things is going to be the offer that resonates with them, that actually gets them to become a customer for the first time. So that's why retargeting is really important, because top of funnel is making people brand aware. Maybe we're hitting the right person with the right offer at the right time in top of funnel and they convert. Probably not. And that's okay, because now they're in retargeting and we can actually make them aware of all the other offers that we have and give them the touch points they need to actually become a customer. So this is like the key piece that supercharges the whole strategy and makes everything super successful. And so this is really, really important. The way that you set this up is you install that pixel on your site. That's all you need to do. Once people go to your site, you'll be able to retarget website visitors. If someone engages with you on social media, you're able to retarget those people too. So the combination of those two audiences is enough to really, really build a strong retargeting audience. And the great thing about this too is the longer that you run ads and the more, budget you're putting into top of funnel, and the more people that are going to your website from that, and the more people that are engaging with you on social media, the larger your retargeting pool becomes. The greater amount of people are in that retargeting audience, and it becomes more effective over time. So this is a super powerful strategy, and it's definitely something that, if you decide to go ahead and implement all the stuff I'm talking about here, don't skip on retargeting. Finally, just wrapping up with a case study here. So I mentioned Lost Ark Distillery quite a bit. We've used these strategies for Lost Ark Distillery. We've added multiple six figures in revenue over the last year. And when I say we by no means take in the entire credit for their success. They're a great distillery. They have a great tasting room experience. Brad, the owner, is a great guy. He keeps up with his, organic social media. He gets us new photos and videos. He takes his business seriously, and it makes our job easy. But these are the strategies that we've basically been able to implement on top of the strong foundation that he's already laid to add six figures in the last year that we've been working with him. And so, as I mentioned before, tour bookings have maxed out. He's had to open up more slots and more days, and events are consistently full now. He's even seeing better pull through in his distribution. So when people go to the distillery and, they meet Brad and they take the tour and they, go to the trivia night or go to the brunch, now they're really familiar with Lost Ark Distillery. And when they go into the liquor store, the next week, and they have the option to choose between a Lost Ark rum bottle and something else, they're going to pick the Lost Ark bottle. So that's the reason that I really enjoy marketing for tasting rooms, because it builds out into other parts of your business. And if you can kind of dominate your local area by driving a bunch of people to your tasting room and having a really sound foundation there, it's going to trickle into your distribution and wholesale, and other parts of your business will grow as well. So that's the whole idea here. We are rolling out these strategies for several other clients, and we're seeing some really, really promising early signs of success. We definitely will be rolling out more case studies on this shortly. And so that's what's working for us. Hope you found this presentation helpful and useful and insightful. And at this point, I will open it up for Q&A. And let me actually push the button here. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to just throw it into the little Q&A box. Can you share the PowerPoint? Yes, absolutely can do. I will, what I can do is, I will send an email to me, Pepe, and my email is steve@harbormarketingagency.com, and just shoot me an email and I'll send over the PowerPoint to you. Cool. Anybody else? Got some time here, so fire away if you do have any questions. Can you please write your email? Yes, can do. I will write it in the chat here. It is Steve, Steve, at harbormarketingagency.com. Hopefully everybody can see that. Can everybody see that email that I just typed in? Cool. Got it. Someone says yes. Cool. Any other questions here? Chella says chat is disabled, so no email. Let me see if I can type my answer here. I answered that directly in the question. Hopefully that gives you the email. Otherwise, I don't know how to send it to you. There we go. Cool. Okay. Todd from ADI just sent it to everyone. How many tours are you booking a month, with how much investment, and how long did it take to break even to this point? So this varies client to client. The more budget you spend on, I'm just going to hit the answer live button. So as far as how many tours we book per month, it varies client to client. It depends on how much budget you're spending and, kind of the foundation that you've laid here. For Lost Ark Distillery, we spend roughly 2,000 to 2,500 a month, and not all of that goes to tours, but they're generating usually around like $20 cost per tour booked. And so I don't have the exact number that we're booking them off the top of my head, but what I do know is that they maxed out on their tour bookings and had to open up more slots and more days. We have another client at a big distillery out of Kentucky that we're working with, and they're getting like $7 tour bookings right now. And so like they're booking a ton of tours because their cost per tour booking class is a little bit lower. And I think the reason for that is their website is just really, really good. Like it's super clean. It's, just a very reputable distillery. They have really good reviews online, and that impacts basically like people's ability and trust as they flow through your site to check out. And so that will lower your cost per tour booking. So I know that was kind of like a roundabout answer, but it just varies depending on the client we're talking about. Any other questions here? Anybody else? Got like 10 minutes here. Here we go. Fede says 2,500 is the investment that you do in Meta, but there are other agency fees that need to be considered, correct? Uh, yeah, if you work with someone like us, there is an agency fee on top of that. We don't require 2,500. That's just like it's working for them, so they wanted to spend a little bit more. I would say if you're going to do this, spend anywhere from 1,500 to 2K per month. And then there are agency fees on top of that. That also just kind of varies depending on the scope of work that we're doing. So there's not like a set in stone fee that we charge. Um, but yeah, if you're working with someone like us, there will be an agency fee and then there's ad spend. The reason that I recommend 1,500 to 2,000 in ad spend is because when you're doing this, not every ad and not every targeting audience is going to work right away or work at all. And so you need to have enough budget that you're putting into this so that you can test different variations of ad creative and different audiences and validate what's working and what's not. And the way that you validate what's working and what's not is by giving each test enough budget to make sure it's getting enough reach to validate whether it's actually working. So what you don't want to do is just put like $200 into this and then you don't get any sales and say that Meta ads don't work. But in reality, maybe just that specific ad with that specific audience combination that you ran didn't work. But that doesn't mean that Meta ads don't work for your business. So if that helps. Fede says, we, the client, take care of the pictures and videos, or do you also offer that solution? So we do not do photo and video, mainly because we're just a remote company. So we work with distilleries all around the US, and it's just not practical for us to go to every single one or possible. So what we do is, we come in and we use the photos and videos that you have in place. And then we have graphic designers on our end that can touch them up and get them ad ready and create some ads from there. You don't need to go like super overkill with photos and videos to do this, but you do need, a couple good shots of your distillery. Just something to like, make this a worthwhile test. If you just have blurry iPhone shots, then your likelihood of success with these strategies goes down. Fede says, but can you give us the perfect picture and video guideline to create the material that you need? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. So, when we work with a client, it's a very collaborative experience. So, if you don't have photos that we think are going to work, then we will tell you that. And, we might come to you and say, hey, these are the types of photos or videos that work really well for our other clients. And we'll show you examples of them and say, hey, can you get these for your distillery or get something similar? And, then that should provide the inspiration that you need to go and either take them yourself or hire someone to get them done. So yeah, we absolutely provide guidance on that. Anonymous attendee said, are you accepting new clients? We are accepting new clients. We are pretty slammed at the moment, so we only have space for a couple. So yeah, we are accepting new clients. If you're interested, just go to harbormarketingagency.com and book a call with us, and we'll see if we're a good fit and see if we can help you. I would do that now though, because we are pretty slammed and we're gonna have to shut the doors pretty soon. And that's not like I'm not just saying that, like we have a small team and we don't want to overload ourselves with clients. Fede says, do you have a website of a distillery that you think is great and works perfectly for the purpose that we have of organizing tours? Yes, actually, Jeff the Creed out of Kentucky is a great example. You can look them up. I think their website is awesome and super clean and very well done. So Jeff the Creed, I would check them out. What I find with a lot of larger distilleries, like I won't name names, but um, a lot of the big names out there, they have like beautiful websites, but horrible from a conversion rate standpoint, from actually getting people to the information that they need and actually getting them to schedule a tour, just not set up in a way that is optimized for, a decent conversion rate at all. So don't get swept away in like the super pretty, like beautiful websites. You need something that's like simple, straightforward, to the point, gives people the information that they need, and then allows them to either book something or figure out how to visit you in person. Cool. Anybody else? Fedage, Yes, that's the one. Cool. Got like 4 more minutes here. If anybody has any other questions, we'll keep it rolling. Fede says, thank you. No problem, Fede. And I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. But no problem at all. Thank you for asking questions. Cool. Anybody else here? We'll keep it open for another minute or so. Okay, cool. I'm saying his name right. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. I have two favors to ask of everybody. One, if you can give us a subscribe on YouTube. Our YouTube handle is at alcohol marketing, all one word. We're starting to create a lot of videos on distillery marketing and specifically tasting room marketing, and we're going to be coming out with a lot of really great content over the next couple of weeks. So trying to grow that channel. We just started it. I think we have like 4 subscribers at the moment, but we're, really going to start ramping up content and come out with more content on stuff like this. As we evolve our strategies and as we, learn more about what works and what doesn't in that space, we're going to keep you updated on our YouTube channel and share that info with you. We're always testing new things. We're going to be working with a lot of different distillery clients. So please give us a subscribe on there. Fede says, what's the YouTube channel? I'm going to throw that in the chat just so everybody has it. And yeah, that would be like my big ask here. Here we go. Cool. I'm going to throw this in the chat right now. I'll type the answer, send. So that I just answered Fede's question there. And let me see if I can type that here too. Yeah, so if everybody can please subscribe to that, that would be super helpful. Just kind of helps us spread the word. And if you are interested in working with us, just go to harbormarketingagency.com and book a call with us. And basically what we do on those calls is just learn more about your distillery. And the first call is just kind of discovery. We want to see if you have a lot of those fundamentals that we talked about in place, and if you're a good fit to work with us, and if we think we can help you. If not, it's no big deal at all. We'll kind of point you in the right direction of what needs to be done before you start working with us. If you are a good fit, we'll come up with a strategy that makes sense to help you grow your tasting room sales. Again, we do have a pretty small team, and we're a small but mighty marketing agency, and we can't work with everybody. So we have a couple spots now, but they're going to fill up. And if you're interested in working with us, just book a call now and let's have a conversation, and we'll see if we can work together. So with that, I think we're right on time here, 1:29. So appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for if you attended live, thank you so much for attending live. And if you are watching this recording, appreciate you making it this far. And yeah, just reach out if you need anything. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.